Hi, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Today let's talk about the social, historical and a political context of Chaucer to the Elizabethan age. The first topic is the Norman conquest and its consequences. The Norman conquest began in 1066 when William, Duke of Normandy, claimed the English throne after King Edward the Confessor's death. Edward had promised to give England to William for the helps Edward received during some emergency. But Edward cheated William at the last minute, and Harold II was crowned king. But William attacked and defeated Harold at the Battle of Hastings on October 14, 1066. William was crowned King of England on December 25th, 1066, beginning Norman rule and subsequent French influence in English. A centralized feudal system was established, redistributing land to Norman supporters and diminishing Anglo-Saxon nobility. The Domesday Book 1086 was compiled to record land ownership and taxation, strengthening royal authority. Norman administration brought stricter laws and reforms, reinforcing monarchical control. Norman French influenced the English language, helping shape Middle English. Castles and cathedrals were built, including Tower of London, marking architectural transformation. England's political alignment shifted from Scandinavia to continental Europe. Despite resistance and rebellions, William consolidated his dynasty's power. Long-term effects included transformed land ownership, integration of Norman customs, and changes in language and governance. The conquest laid the groundwork for future power struggles and England's rise in Europe. The next topic is the Church and feudalism. The development of feudalism in England is associated with the Norman conquest. Feudalism was a system in which people were given land and protection by people of higher rank. The poor people worked and fought for the higher people in return. In England, the feudal pyramid was made up of the king at the top of the nobles, knights, and vassals below him. Feudalism was intertwined with the Catholic Church, which held vast land and power. Bishops and abbots often held feudal titles and wielded political influence. Monarchs sought papal approval to legitimize their rule, reinforcing the idea of divine right. The Church provided social services like education, healthcare, and poor relief through monasteries. Clergy advised monarchs, and tools like excommunication were used to enforce obedience. Disputes like the investiture controversy reflected power struggles between church and state. Corruption plagued the church. Simony and sale of indulgences were common issues. Reform movements, both internal and external, attempted to address ecclesiastical abuses. The rise of centralized monarchies reduced the church and feudal influence over time. Universities and philosophical movements challenged the church authorities, paving the way for secular governance. Now the next topic is the Crusades, strife between the Pope and kings. The Crusades 1096 to 1291 were religious wars aimed at reclaiming Jerusalem and the Holy Land from Muslim rule. Initiated by Pope Urban II in 1096, the First Crusade achieved the temporary capture of Jerusalem in 1099. Later Crusades struggled to maintain Christian control over the region. Tensions arose between the papacy and monarchs as kings took prominent roles in crusading efforts. Monarchs like Richard the Lionheart and Frederick Barbarossa occasionally opposed papal directives. The Fourth Crusade diverted to sack Constantinople in 1204, worsening East-West Christian relations. Trade between Europe and the Middle East expanded as a result of the Crusades. Exposure to new goods and ideas enriched European culture, but also drained resources. Feudal lords lost wealth and power, while centralized monarchies gained strength. Although the main goal failed, the Crusades reshaped medieval geopolitics and weakened papal authority. The next topic is the Black Death. The Black Death, 1347 to 1351, killed an estimated 25 to 50 million Europeans, nearly one-third of the population. It is spread via fleas on rats and caused a swift death with symptoms like fever and swelling. The massive death toll led to severe labor shortages and economic upheaval. Peasants gained bargaining power, weakening the feudal system and demanding better wages. Many cities and villages were abandoned and agricultural productivity declined. The church lost credibility due to its inability to prevent or explain the plague. Religious skepticism grew along with the alternative spiritual and philosophical movements. Anti-Semitic violence increased, with the Jews falsely accused of spreading the plague. The pandemic accelerated social change, fostering urbanization and innovation.